Today, I'm exposing the top 6 healthy habits that are secretly growing your belly fat during menopause and giving you the exact systems that can shrink your midsection in weeks, not years. Most women who fix just the first 2 habits see visible changes in their waistline within 14 days. We are counting down from number 6 to the number 1 absolute cortisol spiker. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, your age, and what the biggest problem you're facing during this period. We're reading and replying to every single comment with personalized tips and advice. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 6, pursue systems, not goals. Recent clinical data, including a 2023 study published in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine involving a large cohort of women, indicates a strong correlation between goal fixation and elevated cortisol levels. Most women over 40 wake up saying, "I need to lose 20 pounds." That is a goal, and it is dangerous. When you fixate on a number, you create a terrifying gap between where you are and where you want to be. This gap is what researchers call the valley of disappointment. Every morning you step on the scale and see no change, your brain registers failure. This failure triggers a massive cortisol spike. This is critical because of visceral fat, the dangerous fat wrapping around your organs, has 4 times more cortisol receptors than the fat on your arms or legs. High stress literally directs fat to your belly. You are stressing yourself fat by obsessing over the goal. Think about the last time you started a diet. You were motivated for 3 days, but when the results didn't show up immediately, you felt defeated. That defeat sent your body into fight or flight mode. In this state, your body does not care about fitting into your genes. It cares about survival. It holds on to visceral fat because it thinks you are under attack. The only way to break the cycle is to abandon the goal entirely. The system swap is simple, but it changes your entire biochemistry. Stop looking at the output. Start obsessing over the input. A goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds. A system is, I walk for 30 minutes after dinner every single night. The goal is out of your control. The system is entirely within your control. When you focus on the system, you get a dopamine hit every time you complete the task, regardless of what the scale says. That dopamine lowers your cortisol, which signals your body that it is safe to burn fat. Here's your action step. Create a non-negotiable daily checklist. It should have 3 simple things on it, like drinking water, walking, and eating protein at breakfast. When you check those boxes, you win the day. You stack these wins and the weight loss becomes a byproduct, an accident of your new lifestyle. You stop trying to lose weight and you start becoming a healthy person. That system works, but it will fail entirely if you don't fuel it correctly. Most women over 40 are fueling their bodies for a marathon they aren't running. That brings us to number 5. As we're moving to number 5, stick with me until the very end and I will bring everything together in the whiteboard. I'll map out exactly how our systems connect so you walk away with a clear visual picture of what to do.
Number 5, simplify your eating. Groundbreaking study published by the Mayo Clinic involving a large cohort of women indicates a strong correlation between decision fatigue, irregular meal patterns, and worsening insulin resistance in postmenopausal women. My entire life, I used food as a reward system. If I had a terrible day at work, I told myself I deserved a treat. If I had a great day and closed a big deal, I told myself I deserved a celebration. This psychological loop is the enemy of your metabolism. When you treat food as an emotional salve, you are typically reaching for carbohydrates or sugars that spike your dopamine. But in a menopausal body, that sugar spike triggers a massive insulin release. Because your cells are becoming resistant to insulin, your pancreas pumps out even more of this fat storage hormone, locking your energy away as visceral fat. You are not just eating a cookie, you are instructing your body to store fat around your liver. To break this, you must prioritize protein. This is not a suggestion, it is a biological requirement. Sarcopenia is the natural loss of muscle mass that accelerates after 40. Muscle is your metabolic engine. It burns calories even when you are sleeping. If you don't eat enough protein, you lose that engine. You must eat protein first at every meal. It signals satiety to your brain. stopping the hunger hormones ghrelin and neuropeptide Y in their tracks. Before you touch a carb, you eat the protein. This simple order of operations blunts the insulin response and protects your muscle mass. The solution to the "what should I eat" problem is to embrace being boring. Decision fatigue is real. By 6 p.m., your executive function is exhausted. If you have to decide what to cook, you will choose the path of least resistance, which is usually processed, convenient food. The fix is to automate your meals. I eat leftovers for lunch almost every single day. It removes the choice. It removes the temptation. It turns food from a source of entertainment into a source of fuel. You don't need variety every day. You need stability. Finally, we have to address snacking. Most people treat snacks as little vacations from their day. That stops now. If you are going to eat between meals, you must view it as a metabolic bridge. It is a tool to get you from lunch to dinner without crashing. A metabolic bridge is protein or healthy fat, a hard-boiled egg, a handful of almonds, or a piece of cheese. It is never a cracker, a chip, or a healthy granola bar. Those are sugar bombs that spike your insulin and stop fat burning immediately. You have simplified the fuel, but if that fuel just sits in your system, it turns into visceral fat. You have to burn it, but not the way you think. Number 4 is the movement myth that is likely keeping you inflamed. Before number 4, I just want to say, behind every video is a ton of effort, and the best reward is knowing you enjoyed it. By liking and commenting, you give me the motivation to keep creating more content. Thank you for being part of this journey.
Number 4, move every day. Recent clinical data, including a 2023 study published in the Journal of Sports Medicine involving a large cohort of midlife women, indicates a strong correlation between high-intensity interval training and chronically elevated cortisol levels. Furthermore, research on non-exercise activity thermogenesis validates the efficacy of low-impact, consistent movement for visceral fat reduction, providing evidence-based support for this approach. Exercise is the most intimidating part of this entire process. I know the feeling. You feel heavy, you feel exposed, and frankly, it is embarrassing to struggle with movements that used to be easy. This shame keeps millions of women on the couch. But here is the villain hiding in the fitness industry. They have convinced you that unless you are dying of sweat in a spin class or doing burpees until you vomit, it doesn't count. High-intensity cardio spikes your cortisol. Your body perceives that intense physical stress exactly the same way it perceives running from a predator. It floods your system with cortisol. In your 20s, you could recover from this easily. In your 40s and 50s, your background stress is already high, and your estrogen, which used to buffer cortisol, is gone. So when you do that boot camp class, you are pouring gasoline on the fire. Your body stays in a state of chronic stress. And remember, cortisol specifically directs fat storage to the deep abdominal area. You are literally sweating your way to more belly fat. The solution is walking. It sounds too simple to work, but it is the most powerful tool you have. Walking lowers cortisol. It moves your body into the parasympathetic nervous system state, rest and digest, where fat burning actually happens. Specifically, you need to walk after meals. A 10-minute walk after you eat creates a muscle sink for the glucose in your blood. Your leg muscles contract and soak up the sugar you just ate before it can be stored as fat. It is the ultimate hack for insulin resistance. You also need to get over the pink tax of exercise. You do not need expensive leggings, a gym membership, or a Peloton. You just need to move. Start with the couch to 5K mentality. If you can only walk for 10 minutes today, walk for 10 minutes. And not let the shame of where you are starting prevent you from starting at all. Consistency beats intensity every single time. If you walk every day for a year, you will transform your metabolism more than if you do one intense workout a week and spend the next 6 days recovering on the couch. Stay tuned into the final minute where I'll use the whiteboard to simplify all this science into a single 60-second roadmap that makes losing belly fat simple again. Moving burns energy, but you cannot outwalk a mathematical impossibility. Number 3 is the equation your doctor likely forgot to explain, and it determines whether all this walking actually works. Number 3, understand hormones and calories. Recent metabolic studies published in The Lancet validate that the body's energy expenditure at rest decreases significantly during menopause, providing evidence-based support for the mathematical reality I am about to explain. You cannot negotiate with your metabolism. This is the hard truth that most women try to ignore. You are likely eating the exact same amount of food you ate in your 30s, yet you are gaining weight. The math has changed. Your basal metabolic rate is the number of calories your body burns just to keep you alive, to keep your heart beating and your lungs breathing. As estrogen leaves the building, this number drops. You are burning fewer calories while you sleep, while you sit, and while you drive. If you do not adjust your intake to match this new reality, you will gain visceral fat even if you eat healthy. But here is where the equation gets tricky. It is not just about calories in versus calories out. It's about insulin in versus insulin out. This is the variable your doctor likely forgot to mention. 100 calories of cookies and 100 calories of chicken breast are thermodynamically the same, but they are hormonally opposite. The cookies spike your blood sugar, triggering a flood of insulin. Insulin is a storage hormone. Its job is to take energy and lock it away in fat cells. When insulin is high, fat burning is biologically impossible. The chicken breast, however, triggers almost no insulin response and actually requires energy to digest. This is the thermic effect of food. You burn calories just by digesting the protein. If you ignore the hormonal impact of your calories, you will stay stuck in the cycle of frustration. Then there is the margin of error that destroys your progress. We are terrible at estimating how much we eat, and even worse at estimating how much we burn. This is the fitness tracker lie. Your watch tells you that you burned 400 calories during your walk. It is wrong. It is likely overestimating by at least 20%. Meanwhile, you pour a splash of olive oil into your pan, not realizing that a heavy hand adds 300 invisible calories to your healthy dinner. You think you are in a deficit, but the math proves you are in a surplus. The visceral fat growing around your midsection is simply the receipt for that surplus. The application here is not to starve yourself. It is to recalculate your maintenance calories based on your current body, not the body you had 10 years ago. Use an online calculator, find your new number, and accept it. This is not a punishment, it is just data. Once you accept the data, you stop fighting reality and start working with it. You stop wondering why the weight isn't moving, and you start understanding the physics of your own body. You accept the math, but there is one specific type of calorie that bypasses your satiety signals entirely and goes straight to your liver to create belly fat. This is number 2.
Number 2, don't drink calories. This is the single fastest way to shrink your waistline, yet it is the habit women resist the most. We have been sold a lie that smoothies, juices, and green drinks are the pinnacle of health. They are not. They are insulin bombs. When you blend fruit, you pulverize the fiber that naturally slows down the absorption of sugar. You are essentially drinking pre-digested sugar. Because there is no chewing involved, your brain never gets the signal that you have eaten. You can drink 500 calories of a healthy tropical smoothie in 3 minutes. Your blood sugar skyrockets, your insulin surges, and because your liver cannot process that much fructose that quickly, it converts the excess directly into visceral fat. You are drinking your way to a fatty liver under the guise of wellness. Now, we have to talk about the alcohol truth. I know this is where I lose some of you, but you need to hear this. The glass of wine you have every night to wind down is keeping you inflamed. When you drink alcohol, your body views it as a toxin. It immediately pauses all other metabolic processes to metabolize the alcohol. Fat burning stops completely. It does not pause for an hour. It can pause for up to 48 hours depending on how your liver functions. If you drink every night, you are effectively keeping your body in a permanent state of fat storage. Beyond the metabolic pause, alcohol raises your estrogen levels artificially and spikes your cortisol. Remember, cortisol is the architect of belly fat. That relaxed feeling you get after a glass of wine is temporary. The chemical rebound is a surge of stress hormones that wigs you up at 3 a.m. and keeps the fat locked around your midsection. You are borrowing relaxation from tomorrow and paying for it with belly fat today. Then there is the sauce trap.
You make a beautiful, protein-rich salad with mixed greens and grilled chicken. It is perfect. Then you drown it in a commercial dressing. Most dressings are made of inflammatory seed oils like soybean or canola oil, and they are loaded with hidden sugars. You just turned a 400-calorie healthy meal into an 800-calorie inflammation bomb. The liquid calories in Starbucks drinks, sodas, sweet teas, and dressings are invisible to your brain, but very visible to your insulin receptors. The swap is aggressive but necessary. You must stop drinking your energy. Hydration should be water, black coffee, or tea. If you need flavor, use electrolytes with 0 sugar. If you want fruit, eat the fruit. Chew it. Let the fiber do its job. If you want to lose the menopausal belly, you have to stop pouring liquid fuel on the fire. You have the systems, the food, the movement, the math, and the hydration. But none of it sticks unless you change the one thing that controls your entire nervous system. Now we are going to number 1 habit. Each of these 6 habits is powerful on its own, but they only work magic when you stack them together. Stay with me to the end of the video and I'll show you on the whiteboard how the first 5 systems actually fuel the final most important one.
Number 1, change who you think you are. You cannot be a healthy person if you still identify as the fat friend or the tired mom. This is the identity gap that destroys 90% of weight loss efforts. Your brain hates cognitive dissonance. It wants your actions to match your beliefs. If you believe you are a person who struggles with weight, your brain will unconsciously sabotage your progress to align with that belief. You will eat the cookie not because you are hungry, but because that is what someone like you does. You are fighting a war against your own subconscious, and your subconscious always wins. The secret to without really trying is that weight loss only becomes effortless when it aligns with your identity. When you shift your belief from, I am trying to lose weight to, I am an athlete, the friction disappears. An athlete does not need willpower to go for a walk. An athlete walks because that is what athletes do. A healthy person does not feel deprived when they skip the alcohol. They skip it because it poisons their performance. When the behavior becomes part of who you are, you no longer need discipline to maintain it. It simply becomes your default setting. This shift has a profound impact on your hormones. Living in a state of constant struggle and deprivation keeps your body in a chronic state of low-grade stress. You are constantly fighting yourself. This internal conflict releases cortisol. By accepting your new identity, you drop the rope. You stop fighting. You accept that you are a person who prioritizes protein and movement. This acceptance lowers your stress response, reducing the cortisol load that is holding on to your visceral fat. You are literally thinking your way to a lower stress baseline. You must change your language immediately. Stop saying, I can't run. Start saying, I am a runner who is currently slow. Stop saying, I can't have that. Start saying, I don't eat that. The first phrase suggests deprivation. The second suggests power and choice. You must visualize this new version of yourself not as a distant dream, but as a current reality. You are not becoming this person. You are this person, and you are simply waiting for your body to catch up to your mind. This is the ultimate system because behavior always follows identity. If you change your mind, your body will follow. Your feedback is what drives this channel. The easiest way to give it is with a simple like and a comment. It's my number 1 source of motivation, so I appreciate every single one. Thanks for watching.